Hello and welcome to today's presentation, where we'll be sharing what's new in the Now Platform Utah release for ServiceNow asset management products. My name is Brian Blackburn. I'm part of the product marketing team here at ServiceNow, and I'm excited to share with you all of the features and capabilities coming in our Utah release across software asset management, hardware asset management, cloud insights, and enterprise asset management. Just a reminder that today's presentation is protected under our Safe Harbor statement. All right, so here's a look at what we'll be covering today. As you guessed it, we'll be exploring the latest innovations across SAM, Cloud Insights, HAM, and EAM. We'll have a few short demo videos actually to watch throughout the presentation before jumping into a live Q&A with some of ServiceNow's asset management experts. If you have any questions, please remember to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screens to type in your questions. We also have a chat feature where you can say hi, let us know where you're calling in from today, but just wanted everyone to be aware that we do have a separate space just dedicated to your questions. All right, so at ServiceNow, we understand our customers are under a lot of pressure now to do more with less and are often having to choose between critical priorities, meaning that they'll have to cut some critical business priorities in order to achieve others. For asset management teams specifically, this could be deciding between reducing costs or identifying and mitigating asset risks. So instead of having to choose between priorities, we want to empower our customers to say yes more often, if not all the time. And managing assets and spending are today's critical priorities, especially during times of disruptive change. And if not properly managed, at best, organizations are wasting money on things they don't really need. And no one can afford that in this environment. So worse, they even open themselves up to vendor audits, to fines, theft, and lawsuits. And common pitfalls that we hear from our customers over and over again include overspending, sprawl, and wasted software, hardware, and cloud investments, which stems from poor cost control, having limited or no visibility into what is happening on a daily basis. And that leads to the behavioral side of cost containment. An organization can have everything lined up perfectly on paper with budgets and with contracts, but when rubber meets the road, are they seeing misalignment in actual usage? Are assets being fully utilized? Are assets available when and where they are needed? These are growing concerns for executives. And when we asked IT leaders what's hindering ITAM excellence at their organizations, 36% said it was due to legacy tools that create siloed barriers. So this is where a single platform with a single data model and architecture becomes transformative for organizations. Here we are seeing ServiceNow's vast coverage of asset types, including cloud resources, software, hardware, and as of our Tokyo release, also including enterprise assets. So with ServiceNow, our customers can implement and scale their asset management programs with automated workflows that bring teams together and drive outcomes at every stage of the asset lifecycle. All right, so now let's dive into what we would say is the bread and butter of today's presentation, the Now Platform Utah release. Here's a quick look at all of the innovations included in Utah. While we won't be able to cover all of these today, we will be taking a look at each of our products and highlighting some of our top innovations, and again, including a few demo videos where we'll get to see some of these capabilities in action. All right, so let's go ahead and kick things off by taking a look at some of the key features for software asset management. Starting us off today with the SAM Success Value Builder, this is going to help our customers enhance the value that's derived from using ServiceNow software asset management by enabling them to identify and execute on some of those untapped SAM opportunities through the Software Asset Success Portal that was made available in the Tokyo release. So this is especially helpful for those who are looking at the what's next in their SAM journeys, as they'll gain a holistic view of the SAM applications, the plugins, publisher packs, software usage not under management, and other SAM capabilities that are available yet are unused in their current release. Users can then go in and create, assign, and track value builder tasks in Software Asset Workspace for activities that will help continually build out their software management program. So to see the SAM Success Value Builder in action, we'll hear from ServiceNow's Piyush Patel, who has put together a short demo video for us to watch. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Hi everyone, this is Piyush Patel. In today's session, I will cover our continued innovation in Software Asset Management Success Portal. We released the SAM Success Portal by starting with success goals and activities. Health check was there already, and on top of that, in Utah, we are adding the Value Builder. Let's see how Casey, our IT Asset Manager, can showcase SAM product feature adoptions and plan for the future improvements. In the Success Portal, Casey can view an overview of the different goals established by her team. The nice thing about the overview is that she can track her organization's goals and report them to her executives after completion or when they are in progress. Next, she navigates to Health Check. These are health checks out of the box that helps determine the software asset management configuration. New in Utah is the Value Builder. This is a nice way to show what is next in the roadmap for Casey and her organization. It provides her a forward-looking dashboard on potential areas and features currently not in use that they can leverage to do more future goal setting. So as an example, we know that in Casey's environment, not all software asset management plugins and store applications that are available to use are installed on her instance. The Publisher Pack Utilization widget shows not all publishers are in use. Scrolling down to New Value Builder task, each of these individual Value Builder tasks can be marked as favorites so they can get started. One of the features they are currently not using is the SaaS license management feature. And there's a playbook here for the Salesforce CRM integration. Casey can move this task up to the favorite section as an item she wants her team to get started on. Next, she can assign this task to a specific user or group. The task includes a link to the product documentation playbook found within the product. She can now kick this task off by clicking on the Start button. Next, under New Updates, Casey can view a list of new features for them to implement within the current release and see any new capabilities that might be coming out in future releases. This helps Casey and her team start understanding and getting more information, maybe favoriting those so that when they upgrade, they're automatically added to the Value Builder task. It's a way for companies to take individual features, identify them as tasks, and then test them out to dev or admin teams for specific plugins that need to be enabled. The Value Builder is about helping companies understand what's next in their SAM journey, get value faster, and identify their roadmap as they advance.
All right, so now let's take a look at a Better Together feature with ServiceNow ITAM Discovery, helping manage license compliance for the growing number of software being deployed on containers. So we're seeing many organizations moving towards microservices architecture and are increasingly using containers to run software and applications. So a container being a standard unit of software that packages up code and all of its dependencies so that the application can run quickly and reliably from one computing environment to another. So their small size as compared to using something like virtual machines makes them extremely portable and reusable within other deployments and services. Containerized software licensing enables our customers to discover and manage licenses for Microsoft SQL and Windows Server products that are deployed on Docker and Kubernetes containers, and that's whether on-premise or on cloud. You'll be able to determine license compliance, actively monitor container utilization, and auto-create remediation options when non-compliant. So with containerized software licensing, you're going to be able to gain visibility and control of infrastructure and software deployed on containers to ensure the proper usage of software and services. All right, so through the software contracts renewal calendar, our goal here is to help our customers avoid those surprises and properly plan ahead for upcoming software renewals with visibility from a single calendar view across all software contracts and entitlements that are up for renewal or set to expire within a given time frame, such as the next 60 days, the next 90 days, or 120 days. And from this calendar view, you'll be able to drill into contract and entitlement details to better plan and manage renewals for both SaaS and on-premises software. Plus, you can automate renewal tasks across all stages of the purchasing process, like renewal information, terms and conditions, rate cards, confirmations, and approvals. And this is all leveraging ServiceNow's contract and renewal management capabilities. All right, so in this release, we're helping to simplify IBM license management by bringing together ServiceNow Discovery, the IBM Publisher Pack in software asset management, and IBM authorized service providers to discover, classify, and report on IBM licensing without having to integrate with ILMT or BigFix inventory. So how does this work? First, ServiceNow Discovery will discover IBM components in your environment within platform discovery capabilities. Under the IASP program, you'll then leverage IASP partner services, partner-built IASP applications that will be available on the ServiceNow store, and the IASP platform to classify and bundle discovery results. So now that you have an accurate view of your IBM environments, you'll be able to leverage SAM capabilities and automated lifecycle workflows to optimize IBM costs and usage, and directly report on your effective license position. So the current release is going to support full and sub-capacity licensing for IBM products running in VMware virtual environments for PVUs, RVUs, and virtual process recorders. On the far right side of the slide here, you'll see the list of requirements needed, including an ISP agreement with IBM, ITAM Discovery, a SAM Professional or Enterprise at the Utah release or later, a services agreement with an IASP partner, and the IASP partner app, again, made available on the ServiceNow store. And to clarify, yes, all of these components will be required in order to leverage this capability. All right, so those are just some of the key innovations in the Utah release for software asset management. Here's a fuller look at what's included in Utah. Just to dive into a couple here, after upgrades and deployments of new applications or integrations, you can now run quick start tests for software asset management to verify that everything is working as it should be. You'll also see enhancements here to SaaS license management, where you can determine last activity date for Microsoft 365 subscriptions and identify unused licenses on the M365 Admin Center. You can also now allocate full suite Adobe subscriptions to those of your employees or customers who are using more than 3 Adobe products and reclaim those individual product subscriptions back. So to learn more about any of these features and capabilities, I highly suggest visiting our ServiceNow product documentation pages. There you'll find a lot of information and detailed information about each of these features and products across all of our releases. All right, so moving right along into Cloud Insights, the Utah release really is heavily focused on database optimization, specifically right-sizing your cloud databases. So if you're using Cloud Insights today, you may already be familiar with our right-sizing capabilities for compute capacity, like virtual machines. And now we've expanded those capabilities for databases, which is another critical and important area of focus for cloud spend. Database right-sizing provides automated right-sizing and cost optimization recommendations to help you reduce costs and improve cloud database utilization. So for example, you can automate the sizing of over-provisioned databases or shut down unused databases using those approval workflows. The goal being to optimize your cloud databases by strategically aligning your usage and spend. The current release here is going to support optimization efforts for select databases running on AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. Also good to note here that database right-sizing is currently offered as limited access and is expected for general availability here in a future release. All right, so next in today's lineup is hardware asset management, where we will discuss new procurement capabilities in the hardware asset workspace. We'll discuss palletized assets and how to manage those, asset donations, including a prescriptive workflow, and a new feature for our managed service providers. We're really excited to bring a new module into the hardware asset workspace, and that's going to be entirely dedicated to procurement activities. So in the procurement module of the hardware asset workspace, you're going to be able to track and manage all of your asset procurement tasks from a single dashboard with visibility into all of your procurement activities like open requests or purchase orders, pending transfer orders. And of course, we want to help you stay on top of these critical tasks. So you'll gain recommended activities and alerts requiring immediate attention right at the very top of the dashboard, so you can maintain smooth operations and empower your employees with the assets they need when they need them. So again, Piyush Patel from our team has put together a short demo video for us to watch so that we can take a look at this enhanced hardware asset workspace, specifically its procurement capabilities. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, it's Piyush here to give you a look at the procurement module in Hardware Asset Workspace. Lots of exciting innovations in Utah release, and staying on Workspace theme, you saw the introduction of Hardware Asset Workspace in San Diego. With the Tokyo release, we added contract renewal along with the content portal. What I'd like to dive into is the procurement enhancements to Hardware Asset Workspace in Utah. As you might have seen before, there are multiple views within the Hardware Asset Workspace that provide you with visibility into all the different aspects of your IT hardware assets. And Casey, our ITAM admin, has been using these capabilities to manage your assets inventory, lifecycle, model management, and look up content from a single workspace. In the Utah release, we expanded this control center to now cover procurement. Because procurement has been historically a very sticky and challenging process with multiple different tools. This is a game changer for Casey because the procurement module in Hardware Asset Workspace enables her to track and manage hardware procurement activities from a single dashboard. Here she has access to important actions such as open requests, pending purchase orders and transfer orders, and sourcing requests that need manager approval. Under Procurement Overview, different reports are highlighted that are critical to procurement business. Casey can view the chart details based on the location or stockroom. Things like how many purchase orders are pending delivery, who are my top vendors, and how much are we spending with these vendors. We understand that most organizations do procurement in another system, but from an asset management perspective, having this data when assets are procured is critical. Using our out-of-the-box procurement integrations or building a new integration, we can help populate this dashboard. Moving down to sourcing requests. These are requests for which a purchase, local, or transfer order hasn't been initiated. With recent supply chain challenges, many companies have been struggling to know what they have, and in many cases, purchase everything that gets requested. Now there is an interface where they can decide if they want to consume the open request from a local stock, transfer it from another warehouse, or purchase it from a vendor. This is a real game changer for Casey because she no longer has to depend on another team or data from legacy procurement system to stay on top of procurement tasks and deliver services quickly.
All right, so keeping things rolling here, let's go ahead and talk about Pallets for inventory, another feature for hardware asset management. So using pallets and bins to manage inventoried assets isn't anything new, but is certainly a warehouse best practice. However, many still struggle with assets getting lost or forgotten, or they're unable to quickly recall which assets are in what pallets. So this can create supply chain nightmares. Pallets for inventory enables you to assign assets to pallets and perform bulk updates to all of those assets within a pallet. So when a pallet record is updated, all of those individual assets within those pallets are also going to be automatically updated. You'll know the precise location of assets in stockrooms using the aisle and space details of the pallet so that you'll have accurate and improved storage of movement of assets within a warehouse and between warehouses. So then you'll be able to add or remove assets from pallets as inventory processes are executed. Okay, so we understand that ESG is a hot topic right now. And asset management teams have a unique opportunity to support ESG initiatives, for example, reducing tech waste. And one way to do this is by finding a second life for assets that approach end of life. So the asset donation workflow enables you to automate the asset donation process with a complete prescriptive workflow. Employees or the asset manager can make a request for an asset donation through the service catalog. And once that's approved, the asset is then prepared for donation. The asset manager can add specific tasks to those donation orders, such as a data swipe or sending the asset to packaging. Then the asset is scheduled for departure. Then the last step here is receiving acknowledgement confirmation from the charitable organization and attaching it to the donation order before it's closed, ensuring that there is proper documentation and that the donation was received by the organization. All right, so the last feature for hardware asset management that we'll cover today impacts our managed service providers, as I mentioned earlier. HAM license exclusion helps managed service providers or MSPs gain more control over their asset management services by enabling them to toggle ServiceNow hardware asset management on or off at the asset record level, meaning you can limit what assets can leverage HAM by disabling HAM capabilities for specific assets tied to specific geographies or departments or even cost centers. Plus, to ensure healthy operations, you'll automatically receive notifications every time an excluded asset has been added to an asset flow and therefore must be removed. So lastly and quickly for HAM, we also had a new resource category for telecom network inventory or T&I that's been introduced. So with T&I entitlement, ServiceNow telecom network inventory customers will be able to leverage HAM premium workflows to manage T&I asset and model classes. Okay, so that's actually going to cover the ITAM portion, as we've now talked about the Utah features for software, for cloud insights, and for hardware asset management. So now we get to share the newest innovations for our newest product, enterprise asset management. Okay, so we know that effective asset maintenance helps create safer working conditions, it improves asset reliability, and can drive performance outcomes as reliable assets help keep our work going. Keeping physical business assets in good shape can prolong their life with fewer breakdowns, less repairs, and unplanned downtime. And also during audits or inspections, it's also critical to prove maintenance plans are in place and are appropriately followed. When refresh cycles approach or assets near end of life, maintenance trends can be used then to guide future purchasing decisions, to maybe avoid buying assets that require frequent repairs or might have proven more costly than they actually are useful. Enterprise asset maintenance management enables our asset managers to create preventative and ad hoc maintenance plans associated with specific asset models or even groups of assets. So you can easily identify assets to include in maintenance plans by any asset attribute such as model number or even location. Then the trigger schedules with rules that you define based on time, on usage, or by condition. So maybe you have freezers in your staff rooms that need to be defrosted and cleaned every 30 days as part of your maintenance plan. And once you have your maintenance plans put together, it's now time to put them into action. So with enterprise asset work management, you'll initiate and assign preventative or ad hoc enterprise asset work orders, including any parts requirements, to ensure that your field technicians are properly equipped to complete those tasks. You can automate asset requests and pickup workflows for technicians to even transfer parts into their own personal stock rooms. So whether assets or even parts of assets are deployed, they're swapped or they're removed as a result of a work order, you'll always have accurate asset information on hand and information that you can use to analyze and improve asset reliability and inform future purchasing decisions by noticing trends and what types of assets require more maintenance than others, or some assets that are frequently breaking down. So our final demo video of today is going to cover enterprise asset maintenance and work management. Again, we're going to hear from Piyush Patel.
Hi everyone, it's Piyush here to talk about enterprise asset maintenance. Starting with Tokyo, we introduce enterprise asset management to help companies oversee and manage the full lifecycle of their organization's physical business assets. Building on that same foundation, we enhance the solution in the Utah release so Enterprise Asset Manager can proactively plan for asset maintenance directly from this workspace. Let's dive into how we enable Enterprise Asset Managers like Joe to perform the work on these assets. As an Enterprise Asset Manager, Joe has access to all the work that has been going on in his state. He can view the number of parts required to work on the orders and ensure his team is planning ahead for their work and ordering the needed parts. He can also see all his active maintenance plans, work orders that have been open for over 30 days, and work orders that have yet to be assigned. Joe has access to work activity through a variety of filters, a valuable and powerful overview of all the work taking place in his assets estate. Joe has been proactively managing and scheduling routine maintenance for his enterprise assets. We have these maintenance plans that Joe has already created, but he just learned from the manufacturer that annual maintenance needs to be added to a specific appliance. To do that, he starts viewing the list of existing maintenance plans and opens the appliance maintenance plan. Under maintenance schedules, there is already a monthly maintenance taking place. A maintenance plan can be associated with one or more schedules. From here, he can easily create a new schedule based on user-defined rules. In this specific scenario, he's scheduling an annual inspection based on the duration that will take place on the 15th of every January. The scheduling also allows for selecting other triggers, such as by meter, conditional, or script. For every maintenance plan and schedule that is created here, the application automatically creates a corresponding work order. The work order then gets assigned to the maintenance technician. After the technicians perform work, they may return assets or parts to the central warehouse that are reusable or need repairs. Joe can use Enterprise Asset Management Workspace to swap or deploy assets or parts to keep information accurate. Enterprise Asset Maintenance Management and Asset Work Management enables asset managers like Joe to track, manage, automate, and extend the life of physical business assets.
Okay, so next up for Enterprise Asset Management is the Enterprise Asset Reclamation workflow that simplifies the enterprise asset offboarding process with a prescriptive workflow. Offboarding assets, as we all may know, requires many steps and involves many teams before an asset's next steps are actually determined. And this is a process that is too often tracked manually. The reclamation workflow here helps automate the request, the reclamation, and the evaluation and retiring of enterprise assets during employee transitions. So when a reclamation request is initiated, you can ensure you receive assets quickly by tracking assets as they're either shipped, dropped off, or picked up. After the asset is received, you'll leverage the evaluation flow to determine which assets can then be redeployed, need repairs, should be retired or disposed, or could be returned to inventory. So that wraps up our highlights for enterprise asset management, yet there's still here more included in the Utah release, of course. A couple of features to quickly call out include the asset resell flow to help you properly prepare and keep record of assets you sell when they're no longer useful or valuable to your organization. The Utah release also includes a support for advanced shipment notifications where you can provide vendors with a standard template to get you unified asset data prior to receiving assets, then create asset records through an easy-to-use import tool using that data provided. All right, so before we wrap up and jump into the Q&A, I wanted to quickly cover some of the cool things our partners are up to. To find out more, you can use your smartphone camera to scan the QR codes on the screens to find out more information on any of these offerings. We really want to make it a priority this year to showcase all of the amazing work our partners are doing. So first, I've already mentioned our new IBM license management capabilities during the SAM section of the presentation. Anglepoint is offering the first IASP application available on the ServiceNow store to help us improve visibility and management of your IBM environments under the IBM Authorized Service Provider Program. With these components listed here under the requirements section, you can discover IBM software in server capacity and accurately report on IBM usage without requiring tools or additional integrations. Next is our structured ITAM strategy services from Softline Group. Their service, or through their service, you'll gain implementation guidance for ServiceNow software asset management and hardware asset management that's aligned with specific business objectives. Of course, leveraging best practices from ServiceNow and leveraging Softline's house of ITAM based on current ISO standards. And lastly, the Zebra MotionWorks Asset Management Connector enables you to capture asset movement as asset tags are scanned in their physical locations. Leveraging Zebra MotionWorks Enterprise Platform, the Asset Management Connector helps you deploy, configure, and manage a population of sensors and readers, gather data about your tagged assets, obtain meaningful information from that data, and connect that information back into ServiceNow. Before closing out today, just a reminder to please engage with us on the ServiceNow community. We have an entire asset management forum where you can ask us questions, read articles and blogs, view on-demand recordings, and register for upcoming events like today's webinar. Overall, just a great way to keep up to date with what's happening with ServiceNow Asset Management. That concludes today's presentation. Thanks so much again for joining to find out what's new in the Now Platform Utah release for asset management. Have a wonderful rest of your day.